Ad Astra Abyssosque. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's academic
Wait, say what?
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission. In that case, please go to Port Ormos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local...
Hey, that's not any better.
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Paimon's gotta ask.
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often. Ah, so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head? From when she said, Ad Astra Abyssosque. So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways, and I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Sumeru's festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of yell. You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sumeru's festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday. Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like... No! We aren't pitying you. That would only make everything... By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homianis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check on her. Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsul's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning. Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sumeru? So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while. continue our chat here. Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. I've already tried that, but all the key members of the Academia, even the core 30 guards, it seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha.
Have you already caught the same?
I'm guessing not yet, but distrusting me would make perfect sense. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds. No way, that's too risky.
You mean it'd be too easy?
No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing?
That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru.
We're in the dark as of now, since we still don't know anything about their goals. After all, every person in Sumeru City...
Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have...
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia...
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't...
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the...
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Al-Haytham. He seems like he acts alone.
Actually, I already have someone in mind. She used to...
Sitaria. Paimon remember we ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say where Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way.
I've always liked She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert.
The name Sitaria means star. When she lived in the desert, later on, she was chosen by the sun. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth. The star began to waver, but in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Sitaria's just hung up, but she doesn't really support the Academia. She still feels guilty about...
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, she's suppressing a lot of guilt. But before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore. Right. We must send her that way. Not only can we get useful intel from her, from my past observations, Sitaria will take a day off tomorrow afternoon. Just happens to be a shopping day for her, to prepare. This should be Sitaria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
So should we...
No, I already have enough information on Sitaria. The most
hacking style? My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fate? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between... Huh? Really? Nahida, you...
Shh! My friend here has some doubts regarding her future. Can we get a fortune reading for her?
Of course, of course. In that case... It would seem that Haruka and Maruk are quite wary of you. Perhaps at some time in the past. Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Health prospects. The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed. Your life shall continue on for... Huh? Marut, did you two spoil my divination?
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate.
I admit that the orientation...
Is that so?
If you were to bring some food offerings for Heart and Mert...
Is this another one of Sataria? Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helps Satario when they start talking with him. Listen carefully.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something.
So is your father?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retire-
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet you.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always think Nahida. You. It's my duty to protect Sumeru's citizens, after all.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before. Huh? If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone.
That's right! I've always been really interested in feats of... After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars. And I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement.
What an admirable spirit for learning. Amazing.
Sure, but...
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for...
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as...
So, was that everybody? Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces should be enough for Sataria. What's the point of all the information we've collected? Sataria is already used to avoiding her problems. I remember you mentioned that the Aramites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss, although it's all just a boatload of nonsense. The fate of her homeland may turn out to be Sataria's soft spot. Oh, Paimon gets it now! Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the... Well, King Deshret is long gone. And Sataria is also too smart. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely be weary of us. But if we were to borrow some of her close... So, you mean you're going to possess... Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted as long as everything goes smoothly. Look... so that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them. Huh? Best of luck? But that's no problem at all. I'll I'll just share all their senses with you once I possess them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal. That is pretty convenient. But what is she? Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at... You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine. If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But so... Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone. Alright, then let's give it... She starts talking to her acquaintance and asked her how we'll sway her to our side. I'll leave that to you. I'm not starting... Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
Right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your...
Okay then. You just seemed a little... strange. The cats seem pretty worked up. I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again? Are you sure?
Well, actually they have many names, which means...
Huh, I see. I imagine that...
So, which fortune do you want me to read?
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects. But to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my...
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods are asking, Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone... home?
Sataria, why don't you just go home? It's a
I'm sorry. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's...
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all.
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such demand of me. Wait a second. King Deshret passed away a long time ago. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can King Deshret's...
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer.
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait! Whoa! She just ran off. Well done. Sataria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core. Aw, Nahida. All I know are some abstract Harabatop. Anyway, enough of that. She's out of caves now. Right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him, right?
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again? Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I forget? Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I have been thinking a lot about him. Actually, while we're talking about him...
Yeah, he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, he has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get in...
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or King Deshret? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret, and now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
Akeem, you don't mean... You've also become a...
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one...
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa! I had no idea you'd be so good at this! You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and explain everything. Come on! Sataria's already started talking with Shishan!
So, Shishan, have you, like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Oh, right. Speaking of strange thing, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the...
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Deshret.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side with the Academia and treated people as nothing more than experimental subjects.
Please stop!
Even now, Sataria's still trying to run from her problem. She can no longer justify everything to... Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards! What should we... This is the most important part of all.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Core of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away.
Please, try to remain calm, miss.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking?
King Deshret! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead.
Miss Vitaria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price. You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become. Child of King Deshret, Never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Sitaria, why haven't you gone home?
That no matter where I run, I only keep finding more. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the sage's plans. And from it. No matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research?
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret? Or are you the god himself?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as...
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a... Please tell me, what can I do?
How much do you know about this?
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened, but I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city.
To fight against the academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose.
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm in a... One thing, though. I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. Let me see...
The academia entrance. Wouldn't that be...
Don't worry about that. I assure you, I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny.
Alright, I trust you.
So...
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon? That's right. Our people are the ones we have endangered. As the god of wisdom, maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring to the Traveler's execution was ingenious. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again... Hey! But if we're going to pray to the gods... No. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. Useless! Catherine, we're here! Oh, that's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine we were. Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to... Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully rule out the chance that the meetup tonight is... If something were to happen, my existence may be the only trump after all. The academia should... Yep, exactly! Just what Paimon was thinking. Anyway, enough about that. Off? What do you feel is off? It's the middle of the night. No, I think if you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets. Huh. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I also can't quite figure out why, well, but will be this quiet in front of the academia, and that Sataria managed to distract all the guards.
The triumphant hero returns at last. And to a rather spectacular welcome, even if I do say so myself.
You're the outcast, expelled from the academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor. If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
The people of Sumeru City. What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments to their Akasha terminals. Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious. As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
No, what should we do? These are all just regular people. Leave now. You need to get out of here. But that guy's a Fatui Harbinger! We can't just leave you here! Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru! Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful mind, you must be the god of wisdom.
Sounds like she must have been talking about, now that the doctor's in the pit, but what are the Fatui after this time? Yeah, things Nahida said, we'll meet again out, you mean, oh, right! Wasn't he invited by the state even though he turned it down at the time? He must, there's no time to lose.